Joining us in the studio now is Charlie Oppenheimer. Charlie's Apple's product manager for the new Macintosh SE. Gary?
Charlie, when I first bought a Mac a few years back, I found a couple screws in the back here that didn't work with a regular screwdriver. You couldn't get them out. What was the philosophy originally when the Mac first came out of the closed architecture? Why was it closed up like that?
Well, at the time in 1984, we felt that we really had a very good idea of what our customers were going to need, and there was really no reason for most people to get in the box, and so it was really set up to be dealer serviceable only.
So the idea was to have a whole package solution. That was exactly what the customers
exactly
were
right.
Now, what's the change in philosophy now?
Well, now with the Macintosh SE and the Macintosh 2, we introduce open Macintoshes, Macintoshes that really represent a foundation on which our developers can be creative, to add expansion hardware, application software, and so on.
Can you show us how you can get at the expansion chassis and so forth?
Sure. Let's talk about the differences of the machine overall. You can see right away that we've got a different face. We've got a floppy disk drive here. On top, we have the option for a second floppy or an internal hard disk, which is what I've got here. If we take a look at the back of the machine, and we'll just turn that around, you can see here that we have many of the familiar ports that you've seen in the past. In addition, we have two connections over here called Apple Desktop Bus. That's the new connection medium for the keyboards and mice and other input peripherals. If we take a look inside the machine, pull the cover off, you see a very different Macintosh. And in fact, this Macintosh shares only one component with previous machines. That's the screen. Everything else has been completely redesigned. Over here you see a analog and power supply board. The power supply here is much more heavy duty, 75 watts instead of 50 on the previous machine. A fan, of course. If you have a hard disk, you've got to have a fan inside the machine. Over here, this is a 20 megabyte internal SCSI hard drive. And that is the hard disk option that we talked about. This is the accessory access port for mounting connectors for cards that install inside that need to connect with the outside world. You don't any longer have the Black & Decker solution of getting connectors into the box. If we take a look at the logic board, and you'll see that the logic board has many, many changes on it. I'll sort of tilt it up here. Right away you see this is the expansion slot for the cards. We'll come back to that. The machine has 1 megabyte of RAM, expands to 4 megabytes just like the Plus. The 68,000 still running at the same speed. We have over here the ROM. The ROM has been expanded to 256K from 128K on the previous machines. This part over here is completely new for the machine. This is a gate array. It incorporates 19 chips from the Macintosh Plus, and it's the key to some important performance improvements that we have here. We've got 15 to 20% overall processing speed improvement, and SCSI performance is up to 2 times faster, so that's really important. If we focus in on the slot here, I'll show you an example of a board that would plug into the slot. This is a card from General Computer. It's a 68020 accelerator, and the way it would plug in would be just like so. Plugs in flat, and now you have an expanded machine. There are really 4 types of expansion boards that we see becoming available for the SE. We see this sort, the accelerator, the coprocessor. You know, there's an 8086 coprocessor from AST. There are communications cards, Ethernet, 3278, file transfer, terminal emulation, large screen adapters, and so on.
That brings up a point. How do you take care of the problem of multiple cards in the machine at the same time?
That's right. Yeah, there is one slot, and many people will want to get more than one function inside the machine. That brings up the subject of multifunction cards, and they've been popular with many other machines, and you'll see them appearing here. I think the first type that has been introduced now that will be popular is the 68020 accelerator combined with a large screen adapter.
Charlie, you've got the slot in there now so that we can put an add-in board, but I think the manual says don't do it yourself. You've got to take it to your dealer. What's the point in that?
Yeah, that's right. Well, you know, as you can see, it was very easy for me to take apart the machine, but this isn't really the sort of thing that the average user would be good at doing. And so to ensure that we have the most reliable installation of the board, we really want to see the dealer do it. You know, this machine really was never designed from the start with the idea of having the user get inside, as we talked about. And so some of the features that you'd want to have inside are not really there to protect the user.
Okay, now Charlie, how does this? What's the cost comparison of a Mac, standard Mac, and then the SE?
Okay, well, you know, there's the Macintosh 512, the Macintosh Plus, the SE, and the 2. The Macintosh Plus is still at $21.99. This machine with 2 floppies would sell for $28.99, and with the internal hard drive option, $36.99.
Charlie, real quick, people who already own a Mac Plus are a little upset. There's no way to hardware upgrade to the capability of the SE. What was the reasoning behind that?
Yeah, you know, we'd always like to see an upgrade available, and that was something that we considered. Unfortunately, in order to provide the kind of expansion and the internal hard disk features that we wanted, there was no way to provide an upgrade. And as you know, I said earlier that every component in here is different except for the screen. Well, that means there is an upgrade, but it's very, very laborious.